Hello there, for anybody that is bothering to join me, and this is how ridiculous the situation is. I've got my mobile phone leaned up against a poxy laptop because for whatever reason, the laptop ain't working for streaming. I've literally just recorded about 2 minutes worth of very, 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 very aggressive, shall we say, content, and I may just release it to members video. It's literally 2 minutes of me going absolutely ape about the situation. I'm absolutely fuming. And I'm trying to contain my anger inside. There must have been about 400 F-bombs, 25 C-bombs, just to do a poxy stream about score predictions. So I've now got to do it via a poxy phone. It's just, honestly, for anybody that does any form of content, specifically live streaming, I cannot express how frustrating it is when you've got a genius like Alex Vollo who creates thumbnails in which I want to use to, produce, to put out a product which I think sets the standards in content creation, and yet can't even do it. Can't even do it on a poxy laptop. So for anybody that doesn't know, when you send the data from whatever streaming site you're doing it from to YouTube, on my end, it will give me 3 or 4 color codes. Green being the best, red being the worst. Surprise, surprise. It's quite a simple code system. Every time I hit the stream button, red, red, red. And I just can't get my head around the fact that all week, everything's been fine. I've been streaming with Jason, there's been no internet issues. I've streamed on my own, no internet issues. Today, even with the internet cabling, doesn't work. And so I've had to resort to using my poxy phone to do this. Just to tell you my frigging score predictions for this opening game week. Crying out loud. Firstly, the irony is, of course, is that I've had a really good day today at work, and then all of a sudden, like that, it just went from a high to a complete low, where I stupidly knocked my vehicle into a parked car, and it created a bit of a dent. And literally, since that moment, I've just been in the foulest of moods, and more specifically, that anxiety mood of where I'm just like, great, all I'm thinking about is Tesco, how they treated. If I had the in fact, I may just do it. I don't know if I've got the option to do it to block someone because they're getting on my nerves. Damn, I can't do it. Yeah, so all I've got is the anxiety and the trauma from how Tesco treated me over certain things of what happened. And all I'm thinking about is that's exactly how I'm going to be treated tomorrow. So it's an awful feeling. It's a terrible, terrible feeling. And that's all that's going through my head. I'll be completely blunt with you. I can't be bothered to do this. I genuinely cannot be bothered to do this because all I'm thinking about is, can we just get on with tomorrow? I'm sure anybody that's been in this situation where you've got some bad news to tell somebody, or you've received bad news, or you've done something and you're just waiting for the consequences. That's all that's going through my mind at the moment, or in my stomach. And I hate it. I genuinely cannot stand it. The fact that I have to wait until tomorrow at 11. Well, I'll be deliberately going in early now. I'm going to go in at 10:30 to find out the consequences of me knocking into a BMW. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, the damage is probably about, at a random guess, 400, 500, 600 quid. The thing is, it's not even that. The damage is bad, but it's not like I've smashed a flaming window or anything. It's just that, unfortunately, with any kind of damage to any vehicle, the pricing is ridiculous. I know that through my own car. My car, where my brother had a general idea that it would probably cost about £2,000 to £3,000, double it, add two. It was about £8,000 worth of damage to my vehicle. And yeah, it was bad, but it wasn't to the extent of what we perceive to be £8,000 worth of damage. And yet, that's how much it cost. And yet, in this case, it's just a scratch, about that big. Not much, I would say about 8 inches. And yeah, it would probably cost that amount of money. And yeah, it's a horrible feeling to have, to be completely honest with you. It's not a pleasant thing at all. So yeah, but other than that, obviously Jason did a stream earlier on. I didn't even know about it because obviously we're shadow banned, so I wasn't even notified that Jason even went live. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to watch him live anyway, but I really enjoyed it. Obviously, he had the news broken to him that Kane is, well, is he leaving? I don't know. To be honest, it doesn't really directly affect me. Whether he leaves or not, I mean, good on him for going abroad and maybe winning some trophies with Bayern Munich. Maybe he can take Bayern Munich to the next level and maybe win the Champions League with them. Maybe he beats Man City in the Champions League final next year. Maybe he knocks out Man City in the semi-finals. I really don't know, but hasn't really affected anything regarding to do with my fantasy team. My team is staying the same as it is. I have thought about potentially replacing Fernandes with Odegaard and getting rid of Martinelli and bringing in Richarlison. But I thought, Steve-O, just leave your team as it is. So off the top of my head, my team is, well, you all know it. You could probably tell me. Johnston, Chilwell, Shaw, Gabriel, Martinelli, Eze, Rashford, Fernandes, Saka, Pedro, Haaland, and I've completely lost my track of thought now. Oh yeah, and then in game week 2, probably doing a -4 to get in Diaz/Jota for Martinelli and bring in Watkins. I'm going to stick with that plan. I did really enjoy Jason's thought processes regarding what do we call it? Oh, by the way, if you're wanting score predictions, I'm telling you, you're getting on my nerves asking for it. So if I'm going to say it now, if you're not liking this ranting, seriously, just fuck off. I'm sick to fucking death of online people going, please do as we say. Fuck off. Piss off to another channel. Black Box is coming on a minute. Just get on with it. Go and watch them. If you want FPL stuff, fucking go to them. So, yeah. That is pretty much the plan. I'm sticking with it. I can't do anything tomorrow. I mean, what's even worse is that tomorrow I've got to do a transport job to, what do you call it? I'm trying to think now. There we are. I can do that. I don't have to read the chat anymore, thank God. So, yeah, I was listening into Jason's stream and hearing his thought processes, what he was saying about Salah, Kane, Haaland, tinkering around with his team and everything. His team, I think, will be pretty set with Salah and Haaland. I think it will end up being the team that he had the other day, which I praised him for. I reckon he'll swap Maddison out for Richarlison. I think Richarlison's the one which he'll end up going for in the end. I think that based on what he was saying regarding that, I think that he's probably going to end up going with Richarlison. And then he's got 0.5 to upgrade. God knows who. But his team's looking really, really strong. And it is a team where, in my specific rivalry with him, it's template versus a bit radical. It's a team which is all about how can I maximise the use of Salah and not have to worry about him in game week 2. Whereas the people that haven't gone with Salah, they're going to have to do various things to bring in a... Well, they don't have to. You don't have to bring in a Liverpool asset, but to bring in a Liverpool asset to cover that Bournemouth game. Now, my thought processes have slightly changed regarding captaincy since doing the history for this particular game week, mainly because Man United's history against Wolves is terrible. It's awful. Whereas Man City against Burnley, it has got 3-0 written all over it. I think for the score predictor game, I've put with Super Brew, proud sponsors of the show. They pay £100 for every premium that they get from this Poxy channel. Imagine that. Could you imagine that? WhoScored.com or Super Brew actually sponsoring this. But yeah, we have set up a league. And I've put my predictions in already. I think I went 3-0. In fact, I'm certain I went 3-0 Man City Burnley. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to... I'm still toing and froing on the Rashford and Haaland. I'm still pretty certain I'll go with Rashford. I'm still pretty certain I'll go with him. I'm still thinking that Rashford and Haaland come out with the same points. And I think if I get through tomorrow, which... So basically, I'm doing a transport job tomorrow. I'm going to be out all day. It's going to take an hour and a half. I'm going to Croydon. It's going to take an hour and a half to get there. I'm going to have to wait around for, I don't even know how long. And then obviously I've got to drive back, which is going to be an hour and a half. I will have no time looking at anything to do with fantasy football whatsoever. Hence, my team is just locked now. It's left. And I will try my best to tune into Jason and maybe join in the Discord. Maybe. But I really don't think it'll be happening at all. And then by the time I get home, the game will have updated. The Man City game will be, 30 minutes away. So I get home about 7:20. The Man City game will be about 30 minutes away, and it's just right. Let's just see how we get on. And like I said last night, I do expect us to be holding possession for a while, and then Man City get the ball, nick us on the break, and it ends up 1-0 within the first 15, 20 minutes. And then it will be the same pattern of play again. They nick the ball, and that happens again. And then in the second half, it'll be all Man City. They'll have about 65% possession, and they'll just get another goal, and it will end up 3-0 at the end of the match. And that's what I'm expecting for tomorrow's game. The question is, what do I expect Haaland doing? I really do think, at best, he's going to do his 2 goals. That's pretty much my predict. That's not my prediction what he'll do, but I just think at best that's what he'll probably do. I mean, there's no way he's getting a hat trick against us. I'm more betting on the 1 goal. I think that it's going to be 1 goal for Haaland tomorrow evening. He may chip in with an assist. There's a possibility he gets an assist, but I think it'll be the 1 goal for Haaland. And yeah, I'm just hoping I can get through that game tomorrow with that 1 goal and then go, right, I would expect Rashford to match that on Monday. I'd expect it. It's Old Trafford. It's against the team who, again, the history is a lot in favour of Man United, but you're probably better off captaining a defender, to be honest with you. I'd probably do that for Sky. But the 2 games that I've got here, I've got Man United winning 2-0 and Man City winning 3-0. Just remember, well, I will. Man City's got Sevilla on Wednesday. I think once they're pretty comfortable at 2-0, it'll be a case of, right, take them off. Haaland will probably last till about the 65th, 70th minute. I don't envisage him playing the whole game because they've then got a tough game against Newcastle in game week 2. Alvarez will stay on the pitch for the majority of the game. I think if Foden starts, I think he'll play the majority of the game as well. And yeah, I am, like I say, my prediction for that game is 3-0. The history is suggesting 2-0 to Man City. City have won all their last 6 fixtures against Burnley 2-0. 3 of them being 2-0. So it's going 2-0 there. Now, this next game is the game where I think that a lot of us are going to be saying, why didn't I bring in that player? I knew I should have brought in that player. Oh, he said about that player, why didn't I bring him in? Oh, I wanted that player. I should have gone with my gut instinct. That's the next game between Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. That is exactly what is going to happen. Because Arsenal are going to be winning that game pretty comfortably. Now, I've got it down as 4-0. History, though, is going 5. So, on 2 occasions, Arsenal have beaten Nottingham Forest 5-0. And both of them were at home. Across the last 6 fixtures, there's been 5 clean sheets. 2 of them were for Forest in 2 1-0 victories. But they're not going to be doing anything here at Arsenal. It's going to be anywhere between 3 and 5 goals. I've just gone straight down the middle. I've gone with 4. Now, this next game is one of 4 games I've predicted as 1-1. This next game between Bournemouth and West Ham. I have no idea what kind of team Bournemouth are going to be like under their new manager. Based on last season, they were pretty good at home. West Ham away from home were pants. That's why I'm just saying 1-1. History, though, is the complete opposite to that. History is suggesting West Ham to beat Bournemouth pretty comfortably, 4-0. There have been 24 goals scored across the last 6 fixtures between these 2 teams. 2 matches have ended 4-0 to West Ham. And there's been 4 clean sheets in this fixture, 3 of them for West Ham. So there's based on the history, there's a probability that West Ham are winning and keeping a clean sheet. Brighton-Luton, I think this is going to be that game where it's going to be, welcome to the Premier League, lads. I think Luton fans will be going into this game confident that they could get something out of Brighton, but they won't. I think Brighton are just going to do a professional job and they're going to win 2-0. History, though, is suggesting 2-1. Despite there being 2 3-1 victories for Brighton, 4 of the matches of the last 6, there's only been 1 goal in it. So they've been quite tight games. There's been 2 draws and 2 2-1s. So it's looking like it could be just, 1-0, 2-1 to Brighton, something like that. On to the next 1-1. It's Everton-Fulham. Heard announced that Tarkowski is going to be fit for this game. Calvert-Lewin, no chance. McNeil isn't playing. Dyche is going to be playing for a 0-0 here. I'm telling you this now. He's going to be playing for... he's going to be playing for a 1-0 victory here. I just don't see it. I just do not see Fulham not being able to score tomorrow. In my head, I've got 2-1 to Fulham. In my head, I've just got 2-1 to Fulham. I've just gone with the sitting on the fence. I've gone 1-1. History, though, is going 2-1 to Fulham. Fulham have only lost twice in the last 6. 1-3, drawn 2. There's been 4 clean sheets as well in the last 6 fixtures between these two. 3 of them for Fulham. So it looks like Fulham do like to play Everton. On to the next promoted team, Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. Honestly, 0-0, 1-1, 1-0 either way. More in favour of Crystal Palace. I've gone 1-0 Crystal Palace. I think this game is going to be terrible, but I just think Crystal Palace have got the slight edge, and I mean slight edge, in this. History's going 2-0 to Crystal Palace. The last 5 in this fixture across the last 6, a team has won 0. 3 of them for Crystal Palace, 2 of them for Sheffield United. I think it went 2-0 Crystal Palace, 2-0 Crystal Palace, 1-0 Sheffield United, 1-0 Sheffield United, 2-0 Crystal Palace. I think that's what it is. So again, if there's a winner in this match, it's to a clean sheet. Here we go, another 1-1. I can't call this game. If there is a winner in this game, it's, I think, in my opinion, Newcastle. If there's a winner in this game. I'm sitting on the fence again. I'm going 1-1. I can't split them. 2 excellent teams. 2 very, very good teams. So I'm going 1-1. History, though, is going 2-0 to the home team, in this case, Newcastle. Only because if there's a winner in this match, it's a team at home. There's been 2 draws in this game across the last 6. The other 4 have been victories, but all those 4 victories have been at home. And yeah, as it says here, when a team wins, it's at home and it's 0. So if there is a winner in this game, it's going to be 0, according to the history. Brentford Tottenham. How is this Kane stuff going to affect Tottenham now? I think I've got it as Tottenham to win 2-1, but that was the fact that Kane was there. Now, admittedly, he's not just going to be packing his bags tonight and clearing off on a plane at Heathrow to fly off to Germany. If he doesn't start, the new manager will just say, oh, he's got the flu. That's my best at Australian accent. He's got the flu, mate. He's got the flu, mate. He's a bit ill. He twisted his ankle in training. Yeah, so I'm going 2-1, but honestly, 1-1. History's going 2-2. In the last three matches, Brentford are actually unbeaten against Tottenham. They've won 1 and drawn 2. Quite a few goals in this game as well, but if this was at Tottenham's ground, Tottenham do like playing Brentford at home. 1-3 out of 4. 3 of those being, I think they were all 2-0, I think. Chelsea-Liverpool, despite the fact that I'm thinking this is going to be 3-2 in Liverpool's favour, I've gone 1-1. I've just gone 1-1 straight down the middle, even though I'll probably put for 50p 3-2 down on Liverpool's favour. Maybe even 3-1. But Chelsea, Liverpool, I just think they're going to cancel each other. Like I said, I'm just going to go 1-1. History's going 0-0. Last 4 have ended 0-0. In fact, the last 6 games between these two have ended as draws. So basically just expect a draw. And then on Monday night, we've got Man United versus Wolves. Man United, a team that loved playing at home, versus a Wolves team last year who hated playing away. I'm going 2-0. History's saying 1-0. There's been 4 1-0s in this fixture across the last 6. 3 of them to Man U. And there's been 5 clean sheets across the last 6. 4 of them for Man U. And when I was listening into Jason talking earlier about Fernandes and how he is concerned about Fernandes could be the assister to the assist, and I'm thinking, I've got to stand strong here. I was thinking of being really, really cheeky. And doing Anthony in for Martinelli and Odegaard in for Fernandes. And I can still do the, the Watkins in for game week 2. Still do it. And still bring in a Liverpool asset for that particular game. And it did cross my mind, but I just thought, seriously, just shut the fuck up. Leave your team as it is and be done with it. Okay, you've been sitting on your team for the last week or so. Yes, the odd change, literally one change here or there. And you've come to a decision, you're happy with it, done. So, yeah. Again, just a quick reminder, if you want to be participating in the score predictor game, the only way we're doing it is via Super Brew. So my advice is, if you're part of Discord, you want to be part of it, jump in the score predictor channel and essentially just follow the instructions. It's quite simple. There's literally a link to the league, and signing up to the website is pretty simple. Yeah, on that note, like I said, I'm not in the mood, so I'm going to clear off, and cheers for watching. Take it easy.